Hey everyone, what's going on? My name is Vince Baskerville, and thank you for watching my video podcast. In this episode 2 it happens to be, I have three particular topics I want to talk about today. The first one being my first video game for the iPod Touch has been released. I'm happy to say, Feed Me, within my fourth day, I believe. So that's some things I want to talk about, some future developments. The second one being some App Store woes I personally had. If you're an iPhone developer thinking about getting into it, if you're in the middle of it already, and you haven't submitted an app or a game, whatever it may be, I just wanted to hopefully some of my insights, some things that I personally went through, can help you guys out. And the third one is really just more some general advice. I feel like you can't go wrong with getting some more advice, some more positive feedback, and things of that nature. So without further ado, I wanted to go ahead and jump right into the first particular topic, which does happen to be. Okay, so regarding the App Store or submission, if you will, basically there's a lot of key things that you actually don't hear when you're out there researching and things like that, or at least I didn't, and I haven't. So basically, one of the first things I would recommend, no matter where you are, if you already started, you need to do this now. It's just personally my personal advice. Get your financial situation squared away, because it could take at least 2 weeks just for Apple to approve it and say, hey, this is all good to go, this is squared away. You're going to need a bank that has a SWIFT code, because you're going to sell your game and your application all around different countries in which they sell the iPhone. So they need a bank that can actually handle the different exchange rates of that nature. So personally, I was in the Navy, and I had Navy Federal. I thought they were all good to go, but obviously not. I don't have any SWIFT codes, so I had to switch my bank. So I was fortunate enough to have stopped midway and handle some of this development. I just wanted to take a break, get a breather, and just get some of this paperwork done. And that's when I happened to learn that. So I was lucky in that aspect, only because as I submitted that, I came back to finish the game. Had I not done that, there's been a lot of scary stories about people saying, hey, they submitted the game, waited 2 weeks just to find out that the game was approved, but now they had to get their paperwork in order. So I had to wait another 2 weeks, if not more. So you can wait a very long time just to get your product out there over some silly things like getting some paperwork in order. So I would highly recommend going in there, getting your process, getting your paperwork, the banking situation. Who are the people involved? The organization. If it's just yourself, get yourself in there. But you're going to need a title. You're going to need everything like that. There's 2 people. Everyone needs their credits. So you're going to put that thing in there also. Other aspects. My binary kept getting rejected. I was driving me insane. They just give me this generic error message. I forget exactly what it was, but it's like your binary's been rejected. Either Apple didn't give you a code. They didn't actually sign the certificate, or it was done incorrectly. It's very generic and very frustrating, because it could be a million different things. And basically what it came down to is I'm finding out that it's a lot of times it's really just your icon. Your icon that you have in there. When you submit it again, you have your little 57 by 57 icon. Take it back out and then open up show show file contents. Right click and do all that stuff. Hopefully, being a developer, you know exactly what I'm talking about without showing it. Show file contents. And then, delete your icon that's in there and then redrag it in there. I have no idea why, but it does something crazy and it just doesn't like it. And then not only that, but also if you made it with the round edges already, don't do that. 57 pixel to pixel width, that itself, regardless if it's redragging it in there, if it has alpha in there, it will get flagged and it will get rejected. I went through that, wasted about 2 or 3 days, blowing my mind, tearing hair out, trying to figure out exactly what I was doing wrong. When all it was I actually had my icon perfectly, the edges rounded exactly how I wanted it to be done, where Apple wanted to do it themselves. So that was driving me insane. And as far as the other things, you're not really going to get rejected for it, but it's good to know I missed this step. Whereas, the icon that's in the App Store or in iTunes, the App Store right there, they actually want that a very large file, 512 by 512. When I was making my assets, I was making them oversized, but oversized thinking just for the phone. I wasn't thinking anything 512, so I didn't think my icon had to be that big. So I didn't actually have the perfect, illustrated and everything like that large. So I just made something really quick and put it in there. So just a heads up, just understand that you're going to need something 512 by 512. You're also going to need those little banners just in case your app gets featured. You're going to need to create something like that. It's a lot of the weird things like that, nothing's really out there. They don't really tell you about. and it's very frustrating and very annoying on that aspect. So there's a lot of key things that you could run into and just wonder what is going on. And definitely pay close attention to the documentation as far as if you're doing any ad hoc distribution. That was driving me insane too. It was very frustrating. It was almost more difficult following the ad hoc instructions and actually making and developing the game. So I would say keep a close eye, very scrutinizing. I'm actually thinking about making a very simple keynote that someone can follow, because what they have there isn't the most well versed, I should say, as how to actually do something. And you think, we're all developers, so it should be okay. And I understand that, I get it, but it just didn't make things that easy. And I would hope that it would have been. Knowing, especially being Apple. So like I said, I actually think I'm going to make something like that. So hopefully in the near future, that'll be out there for a lot of people that's getting into development and want to know, understand, and want to test their phones, and ad hocing it just be a little bit easier process. You're going to need the UDIDs, how to get that, how to do that. I already knew how to do that, but just all the other processes. So like I said, hopefully that stuff's helped. Get your financial information, get all that stuff in order, and understand the organization, who you're involved with, what's going on. And simple, silly, stupid mistakes like your icon. Get that 5757, take it back out, put it back in, whatever the case may be, and then submit it in the binary, and it should be okay. Unless you have actually some really wiggy code going on. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you get something from this. Don't go the same mistakes that I did. And hopefully I see your app and tell me about it. All right, thanks. And then obviously download, feed me. All right, bye.